the only thing it's giving me is aggravation for 6 weeks. I get 6 weeks worth of aggravation. That is my profit from this scheme of theirs.
Come on and visit for any occasion. Don't keep patting down waiting. Comics and conversation. Keep the conversation moving along. Keep reading comics. Keep your local store strong. If it's hard, then it's a job for the challengers. Comics and conversation, y'all.
From Challengers Comics and Conversation in Chicago, this is Contest of Challengers, a comics industry business podcast with Patrick Brower and W. Dal Bush.
All right, buddy, take it away. It's all you.
How's year 14 going, Patrick?
Gosh, well...
What are we, 2 days into it?
2 days into it.
2 days into year 14 of Challengers, Comics, and Conversation.
Let me say that Thursday was an average day.
Because you weren't working at the store?
I mean, business-wise.
Oh, business-wise, okay.
Yeah, I think it's, it's a passable day.
Yeah,
like, I think
we're
both okay with the total.
Yeah.
Today was a much bigger Friday.
That's great. Fridays in general seem like they've been much bigger.
Well, I mean, last week was not, but the week before was massive.
Yeah, that's what I said in general. Not constantly,
sure.
But like more often than not, you're seeing a higher total on Friday.
I think this is the perfect storm of spring break and Easter. You and I both remember a time way back in what they call the 90s, where Easter was a massive sales holiday, second only to Christmas in the sales year.
I don't know why that is. Why, do you have a theory?
People buy presents for their kids for Easter.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, as a child...
I think I might have gotten like a gift certificate or something to a comic shop when I was a kid for Easter, maybe?
We always got Easter baskets.
Yeah.
That were like a wicker basket and fake grass and, all the Easter candy and stuff.
Plastic eggs with little things inside?
Yeah. I believe people have even gotten you some of those over the years.
Yeah, it's true.
And so, like, that was what we got, but I think other families gave gifts.
Okay.
Like, it was always... I remember Easter being a really substantial...
haul?
I mean, sales for the stores we worked at back then.
I don't remember if I got gifts for Easter. I probably did.
I think Easter is also, like, at its core, like Christmas, a religious holiday. Like, there's plenty of people that wouldn't celebrate it.
Sure.
Like, I don't say Happy Easter to everybody, like I would do Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas. True. But I think that there's a level of commercialism to it that definitely overrules any religious specificity.
Secular aspects?
Yeah, there you go. Nobody's specifically said, okay, this is your Easter present or whatever. I mean, but there have been a lot of families and a lot of kids in. Mm-hmm. It's always disheartening when a kid can't find anything in the store.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Like, one of the things that's always...
That was a weird... Like, I didn't mean to segue that. It was just...
No, but it's true.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, you and I have talked for years about... Like, we've all had instances, people who work in comic shops that sell comics and toys, where there's been, like, a kid comes in and the parent or adult brings them in to specifically get a comic book to get them something to read, and the kid sees toys and like, I want a toy, and it's... The parent or adult has to say, no, you need to get a comic book, and then the kid is, like... furious. It's just tears, and the kid has to be dragged out of the store because they want a toy now. They don't want a comic book. And just the thing of, like, man, when I was a kid, like, sure, toys, but oh my god, if I could get comics, that would be great.
Yeah,
like,
right?
that was not like a step down from toys. That was pretty great.
There was oh god.
No, I was going to say, like, thankfully we don't see that as much anymore. A lot of the kids that come in or are brought in are very into comics. Like, when they see sidekicks, they lose it. So they don't need to see Marvel Legends or something to get them interested.
We had a young kid buy the time suit Captain America Marvel Legend today.
Oh, okay, sure.
Right? There was also a dad and two sons in, like, maybe a 9-year-old and, like, a 6-year-old, or maybe I don't know. I'm bad at ages.
Anything under 16, they're all the same age to me.
Exactly.
I can't tell.
So, I guess the younger kid had been bad, and his punishment was he couldn't get anything. Mm-hmm. I am all for that type of, like, when a parent walks in and says to the kid, don't touch anything, we're not getting anything today, or, like, they're just shopping for them.
Right.
I'm against that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that at all.
Sure.
But knowing that the store is a punishment, like, you can't get, like, you want to get something, but you can't.
You have to see all this stuff you're going to love, and you don't get any of it.
Yeah. And,
that's great.
And at one point, I thought I heard him say, no, you just have to look. your brother and I get to shop. We get to get something. You don't get anything.
Wow, I've never heard of that before. That is excellent.
And then, right?
Oh, man.
And then, like, the kid picked up the Miles Morales enamel pin.
Uh-huh.
He's like, Dad, what's this? He goes, it doesn't matter. You can't get it.
That is outstanding. That is some A-plus parenting.
I mean,
oh, man.
If I was that kid, whatever I did wrong, I would never do again.
Oh, you would remember that for the rest of your life. That feeling of just, like, essentially being tortured with all this stuff that you can't get. Being held just out of reach.
I mean, it's kind of a weird yet acceptable compliment that the store is punishment for so like being in the store and not buying something is punishment for someone.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. If there's a way we could rectify, like make that into a selling point. Has your kid been bad? Bring him to the store. Buy stuff in front of him and not give it to him.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, okay.
Incredibly
I'm down with
clever
that.
parenting, yeah.
I feel that is a stern punishment. For as much as children drive me crazy, and I say things like, I want to smack that kid, I don't actually smack children.
No.
But I feel that this is equally compelling as a...
Yeah, I mean, it's really corrective, for sure. Like, it feels like, again, the sort of situation where that lesson would stay with you way longer than another punishment.
Do you sometimes think you're being punished by having a store for 13 years?
No.
Okay, good.
I like having a store. It's nice.
So, I look back, and thanks to Facebook Memories, especially on our anniversary, it'll show me the things I've posted over the years. And the first couple anniversaries and things, while we would have parties at the store, like we had parties...
Like the first 5 years, I think.
Yeah. Well, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
And then 10. But at most it was just hey, it's our anniversary, thanks everybody. It wasn't until like year 8 that I started doing anniversary logos.
Oh, yeah.
I think we did a quick little tour of them on a Wednesday or so. You saw?
You did, yeah. You showed a few that popped up on Facebook.
Yeah. 8, 9, 10. I think there was a 7, but I don't think I saved it or whatever. But this year, since we survived a terrible year, the world survived a terrible year, but, we're still partially in business.
True.
We're fully in business. We're just not, we're down a store. But anyway, also I think 13 is a fun enough number to do stuff with.
Yeah.
And we had a really fun video intro made for us during the pandemic by Jonathan LaMancha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just didn't know, I was going to I want to put it in front of our videos moving forward.
Sure.
And then Jonathan did the video for it. And my longtime musical collaborator, Robert Burns, from The Divorce Gun, from Zoo Story, did the intro music for it as well. So we put them together, have a fun little 15-second intro clip.
Yeah.
And I didn't just want to put it out there. I wanted to wait for something. So I made a quick little 13th anniversary video, which is just, it was smoke, then it was fire, then it was the 13th anniversary logo in it. So I put that up. So we did that, and we had the 13th anniversary logo as well. But since 13 is a fun number to celebrate anyway, I wanted to put a banner in the window.
Yeah.
And our windows look like garbage because of the graffiti film is so bad. And
should have come off last year, and it didn't.
Should have come off years ago, but...
I mean, last year it was specifically negotiated, you need to remove this building management, and then it didn't happen for whatever reason.
Weather, I think. It wasn't negotiated at the right time of the year. And we still can't do it for a few months or so. The temperature has to be, I don't know, above 65 degrees for a week for it to adhere or something like that.
Yeah.
But I just wonder how hard it is to get the... if I thought I could go out and peel the old stuff off right now, I would do it.
Yeah.
Just to get rid of it. I'd risk the graffiti.
Sure.
But I don't know how to do that. I guess I should.
I don't know that it's meant to peel off in the same way as protective film on an electronic good.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be something where you just get a fingernail under it and then just peel it off.
Because I feel like I've said that before and it doesn't go. Yeah. Just it's nowhere near easy enough to pull off the vinyl window clings. Because our window, top to bottom, our windows are bad.
Yeah.
They need an overhaul.
Yes.
And the problem with that is because we went the adhesive vinyl route, slowly built it up over the years, and have replaced some of them.
Yeah.
Well, we replaced all the window art once already, and then we replaced 2 of the top signs and added more to them.
Yeah.
To redo all of the vinyl window clings and have them installed in 2021, like I have a estimate in mind of what it would cost just to print and adhere. Do you have a guess?
Oh gosh, print and adhere to do interior windows and the tops.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think how many that is. $4,500.
$10,000 is my guess.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's not counting paying artists to do windows.
Right.
That is just
The
printing
manufacturing and
yeah,
installation.
Yeah, because it was like $5,000 just to do the Chris G windows.
Sure. One of the things I'd like to do though is there are places locally that we can reach out to and say, okay, give us solutions for this. Like what things at what different price points can you do? Because like I've said before that I'm okay doing something where it's like, what if this was just on like fabric and we use suction cups or whatever?
Sure.
You know, is that cheaper to do? It's easier to switch around. Like maybe it doesn't get damaged as quickly because it's not, adhered to the window that's getting baked by the sun.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like that we could maybe look at. Obviously, you couldn't do that for the exterior signs at the tops of the windows. Those have to go on because it's frosted glass under that. They have to go outside. They have to be adhered on. But thankfully, like that's only like 6 or 7 panels, so it's not as bad.
Yeah, it's 3 panels per, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 if you redo sidekicks. So 9.
Yeah, we'll see. So anyway, the budget or the estimate that you have in mind, like that's like 8 years ago's numbers. Like we wouldn't even use that same company anymore.
No, I just meant like we've used multiple companies.
Right, but I mean we could look to other people and look for other solutions. Because when we did it, 12 years ago, it was, we found a company and they said, this is what we'd use. And then when we did them again, it's like, okay, well, this is what we want to replicate. So it needs to be like the same material with the same installation. But what I'm saying now is like, we could look to other solutions.
Yeah, and when we did the windows in River North, we had a company around the corner do it.
Yeah.
And what we had done was we just had a one-sided vinyl banner made, but they didn't hang right, so we had a epoxy square wooden, like basically dowel rods to weight them down and to keep them flat.
Right. So that's the thing where we could go back to that same company and say, okay, we've learned some lessons.
Yeah.
Let's do that again, but we do it this way, where this needs to be the solution to the problem.
So what we had done was they priced out the adhesive and then the non-adhesive, and the non-adhesive, of course, was
way cheaper.
Much cheaper.
Yeah, which is why we'd probably do that this time.
Yeah.
But there's that company that we could go with, and then there's local companies. I mean, there's literally a company that I pass on the way home multiple nights a week that it's like, if we're serious about doing this, we should talk to them about a quote.
And we've talked to Mark Tower about who he uses because they do the same kind of thing now.
Yeah.
Now.
So, yeah, I mean, I would caution you that, don't expect that we need the same amount of money to do this project as we did 8 years ago, because we don't have that much money, so we need to figure out a solution that works for our budget. And there's going to be one, we just have to find it.
Well, I need to do this next bit a little bit cryptically.
Okay.
And it wasn't, I need to express to you that it wasn't me not liking a suggestion. It was me completely forgetting about the suggestion that we talked about, I don't know, a year or 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
About how we were going to redo the windows.
Yeah.
And how the images were going to be across the top where it says Challengers now. And how the...
Oh, God, I don't remember that.
Yeah, so the top where it says Challengers would be where the art goes.
Oh, okay.
The small windows where it has all the C's would be where the Challengers goes.
Okay.
And that leaves us to do, like, the windows, the front windows themselves were going to be...
The rotating displays? Is that
Yeah,
what we're going to do?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. I guess I don't remember that. Wow, okay, yeah. I remember the last thing where we were talking about doing essentially like a large vinyl banner for like the Stillwater trade or whatever. And then that would eventually like rotate out after a number of months in favor of something else. So we would be doing individual windows would be promoting events or books or whatever.
And those might have just been not even vinyl, but it's like paper or something.
Yeah, well, it was going to be full color. So it was going to be something where we could, because they would be up in the windows. I mean, the original idea was that we'd be doing a new one every month, maybe. So it needed to be something that could stay in the window,
and then
for 9 months.
And everything's going to transfer the way down. Yeah,
basically the newest one would maybe be on the left, and then everything would move to the right each month, and then whatever was on the last spot on the right would then just be raffled off or something to fans, or stored in the back, or whatever,
thrown away because it's ruined by the sun.
Well, that's probably why we would raffle it off, is because it's not worth keeping. But maybe someone would be like, "Oh, I'd love that gigantic, 5 foot by 4 foot promotional thing of a book I like, or a character I'm a fan of, or an artist who was coming for an event, whatever." But that was stuff where we then had a different idea and pivoted a different way. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely like the idea of doing the windows on fabric and stuff. But yeah, we're too far along another thing.
Well, let's put it this way. Maybe not.
No? You got some bad news?
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying, maybe sizing can be shifted after the fact.
Maybe. I feel like there would be less of it, though. I mean, like, we're already talking about 3 things, and we don't have... Essentially, for windows, we have 2.
That's true.
So a third of it would just not exist. And plus, I don't know that... Like, again, I remember the last thing where it's like, oh, the windows are going to be this thing. I don't remember the whole... There's going to be art at the top and then challengers in the middle.
I will tell you this. It was your idea. And
I don't remember.
We did talk it on a podcast, so listeners may remember as well.
Yeah, if they want to dig it up, I'd love to hear it.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. We just forgot about it.
I guess. I mean, I don't love the whole... Like, I'd have to look at the store with fresh eyes rather than, like, trying to envision it in my head.
Yeah.
Because in my head, it's like, I feel like the art's too high up. Like, a lot of what... I mean, certainly what we see a lot where kids get excited about it is that it's their level.
Sure.
And if you put that all the way up, like, you can see it from across the street and maybe from a car or whatever, but you're not going to engage with it nearly as much. Yeah, maybe that's a thing that I'll feel differently about the next time I'm at the store and I really get a chance to look at it. But yeah, no, I mean...
Oh, so you plan on coming back to the store?
To me, it's one or the other. Like, you would do the whole, like, promotional stuff, or you would do new window art. I don't know about both.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, we could technically do the promotional things higher up if we wanted to.
No, not really. I mean, it would be... You'd have to block out those windows at that point.
We could just make a sale banner, a reusable sale banner for... just sale and the dates, since those don't change.
We could, but stuff does change.
No, I mean, just like the middle one, like the shirt and everything else.
Sure, but I mean, like, we've tweaked phrasing, we've tweaked the rules that we want to promote. Like, this past year, we had to say also online, because that was the thing that a year ago did not exist.
The year before that, we had to say at both locations.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying, like, it would be, like, a huge investment to just do, like, a vinyl banner.
No, but it would also look weird because one part would be vinyl and the other 2 parts would be paper.
Yeah.
So putting up the 13th anniversary banner, because I felt like 13 is something to celebrate. Like, that's fun. And also, people aren't going to do this for us,
No.
And it's the kind of thing where if too many people say something about it, I'll get annoyed. And if not enough people do, I'll get annoyed.
Sure.
But it was nice hearing people say that they saw the banner. Or, nice banner.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't get a lot of those, but...
It was weird to have our anniversary on a Wednesday. It was the thing I was actually excited about at first, because we've had anniversaries that fall on days that we don't work, or days where just one of us works. And it's like... It doesn't feel as special. But this was like, man, it's our 13th anniversary. We're both going to be at the store. Let's make a big deal about this. But the problem is, it's also Wednesday, and we're so busy...
This Wednesday especially was insane.
And, I mean, like, it's getting to the point, I've mentioned this before, I feel like I need to start coming in hours early on Wednesday. Because the first thing that happens on Wednesday is like, okay, here's a bunch of people who emailed in requests for things that need to be held from this week. Here's changes that need to be made to people's lists. Here's orders that need to be shipped out from online orders. Here's orders that need to be packed up from online orders. Here's people emailing in asking to have their subscriptions mailed out. Here's people emailing in to get their subscriptions totaled out, but they're not going to come pick them up. Here's, eBay orders that need to go out. And it's just like, and that's, by the time you sort through all that stuff, cool. Now the Diamond reorder has shown up, or the Southern Hobby order has shown up, or the Penguin Random House order has shown up, or the Ingram order has shown up, or all 4 of those have shown up, or some combination of those 4.
Like, I keep wondering, and this will never happen, but Southern Hobby used to be, they call on Wednesday, they deliver on Thursday.
Yeah.
Now they don't deliver.
No.
And now they call on Monday.
Yeah, and sometimes that stuff gets sent out on Monday for Wednesday. Sometimes it gets sent out on Tuesday for Thursday. And Diamond's been all over the place, where this past week, half of it showed up on Wednesday and the other half showed up on Thursday. But just in general, like easily the first 3 hours of us being open on a Wednesday, I have no time to do anything other than ring people up and work on projects. Like, there's so much to get done, and it needs to be done quickly. Then there's a little window of like, oh, I can relax a little bit. Then it's lunchtime. Then it's, another couple hours of projects and work that have shown up in the last 2 hours. So Wednesdays in general are so busy that in retrospect, it was like, oh, this is the worst day to have our anniversary, because people would come in and they'd, want to chat or congratulate us or give a little, token of their appreciation or whatever. And it's like, I literally cannot even stop to talk to you. Like, I wish I could, but I am juggling 2 different things right now and I don't have time. And it felt disrespectful to them. Like, they went out of their way to do something nice, and I just had to go, oh, thanks, and then move on, because I can't do anything else. It's too busy. So that sucked. That was not my favorite part of our anniversary, was feeling like I was not giving people enough gratitude for them acknowledging our anniversary.
Sure.
So if you were someone who came in on Wednesday on our anniversary and didn't feel like I was supportive enough of you supporting us, I feel the same way, and I'm sorry.
Thank you again to the Springhams for the Challengers branded Oreos. Thanks you to Mike Love for the flowers. Thanks to Tom K for the Prosecco. Thanks to Dale's mom for the balloons.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks to us for the cookies for everyone. Yeah. Which, that's a thing. Like, we bought cookies to give out all day.
We did.
But then we immediately needed that counter space to check in all the orders.
Yeah.
And those cookies there was nowhere to put them where people could get to them.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I will say that I don't know if it was because of the pandemic or whatever, but I would say that less than half the people that we mentioned the cookies to actually took one. Most people are like, oh, great. No, thanks.
Yeah. You know how many cookies I had today?
How many?
0.
You know how many cookies I had at home today? 2.
You know how many cookies I had at home today? 1.
Those Toll House ones are real delicious.
I know.
Man, oh man.
I would have bought more, but that's all. I bought everything they had.
No, I mean...
They did have packs like, oh, it's chocolate chip and oatmeal and peanut butter.
There's no reason to buy more than one package at a time.
Well, I mean,
because of how they go bad.
To give away. I thought we would need more, is what I'm saying.
Sure. Those Toll House ones, that's so good. I mean, I think they've kind of replaced Insomnia for me in the sense of, like, these are probably close to being as good, and they are way easier to get a hold of.
And cheaper.
And I don't know how much you paid, but I assume cheaper.
It's like $5 for 20.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe $5.99.
That's still great. They're so good.
I mean, not as good as when I make cookies, but whatever.
Of course. I mean, for store-bought cookies, they're pretty good.
Those are actually made there.
At Target?
Yeah. But, like, I think Toll House sends them the pre-made dough.
I never had a
bakery.
A bakery department.
Yeah.
Wow. Weird.
We'll have to see if local Targets carry these, because this was a suburban Target.
Yeah, definitely worth scoping out. I mean, at the very least, like, you're in the suburbs at least once a week. Like, that could be a thing of, like, hey, while you're there.
Yeah, but I have my routines. I'm not going to add that all the time.
And even then, I would say, like, maybe every other week.
Sure.
Like, I think a bin of 20 of them is probably
last you for a while.
Good for 2 weeks, probably.
Just start pouring milk on them. Eat them as cereal.
We'll see.
Cookies for breakfast? Heavens no. So yes, it's we're 2 days into our 14th year.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Now, whenever somebody says, "How long have you guys been here?" we get to say, "Over 13 years."
13 years. Because that's usually how people describe things in groups of numbers: under 13 years and over 13 years. Now we can say over 13 years.
Looking back historically at employees, Ashley came aboard in October of the first year.
Wow.
So, and then take 2 years off. So, over 10 years for her.
Wow.
Sam came aboard the same time. So, again, take a year off. Mm-hmm. So, over 11 years for Sam.
Wow.
Donovan worked a solid 10 years. Mm-hmm. Gina's at 8.
Wow.
Lizzie is over 9.
Wow.
I think Kent was born in the store.
Gross.
And then there's Andrew, who's less than a year.
He's just a baby.
Just a baby.
A little baby.
Everybody else is measured in less than years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's harder to chart.
Sure.
But yeah, we have an interesting crew right now.
Yeah.
Less a family, more a collection of misfits, which is what some families are.
Yeah, that's true.
But we're moving on. Moving on to everything the comics industry throws at us. Mm-hmm. The good ideas and the bad
other
ideas.
Ones. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Bad ideas.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's talk about bad ideas. Current promotion. So they announced a thing on, I want to say, April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day.
But it was specified in their communications that it was not an April Fool's joke. It was a real thing they're doing.
May I jump in and say, did you see AEW's April Fool's joke?
No, what was it?
Life-size chocolate cutouts of their wrestlers.
Oh, okay.
Kenny Omega, Britt Baker. I can't remember who else.
I mean, I feel like you'd want like volume, so you'd want like your Lance Archers, your Will Hobbses,
your Brian Cages.
Yeah. I mean, Britt Baker. It's like not a lot there.
A life-size chocolate Britt Baker.
Okay. I mean, maybe she came with a wheelchair.
They designed the packaging and everything as well.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, go on.
Anyway, so Bad Idea announced on April 1st that they were doing an event where I can't even remember the name of the book. What is it?
Somebody's name,
Caligula's
Pizza
Safe.
Detective in Caligula's Safe.
Yeah.
So it's like, Bob Johnson, Pizza Detective in Caligula's Safe. Although it's not Bob Johnson.
No.
That's how little I care to actually look up the name. But it's a name, Pizza Detective.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's Caligula apostrophe S safe, as in possessive, not Ben Caligula's safe. Like, Ben Caligula's is safe, he's fine.
You don't know that.
But this is not...
When's the last time you talked to Ben?
Oh, gosh. I mean, it's been a few days.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know.
I don't know. I hope Ben Caligula's is safe. But anyway, Caligula's safe.
Also, if it's apostrophe S, that could be, it's possessive and it's is.
Yeah, it could be Caligula is safe, not a safe that belongs to Caligula. Unclear. Regardless, what is clear is that Bad Idea is doing a promotion with the story Caligula's Safe.
I thought it was Calaguas' Safe.
I don't think that's right. Doing a promotion for a story called Caligula's Safe. And what they're doing is this. Sort of in response to their inability to provide ENIAC 1 first prints to all the stores that ordered them, stores are getting free copies of Caligula's Safe to sell for $1 on May 12th. The twist is this. Stores can only sell it on May 12th. At midnight on May 12th, any unsold copies, that includes copies that are set aside that have not been paid for and shipped out...
Midnight, May 13th.
Okay.
You knew I was going to do that.
I do. I'm really trying to get through this. Are to be sent back to Bad Idea. Stores are not... Bad Idea stores that have been given these copies to sell for $1, and you can't sell it for more than $1, are not allowed to keep them on hold for people. So if you are like a subscriber who has a pre-order for it, it has to be picked up and paid for and shipped out on May 12th. If stores, any copies that remain in the store after midnight on May 12th have to be sent back to Bad Idea. So this is a thing that, as anything with Bad Idea, we were not informed of this ahead of time. We were not consulted on this at all. This was something that was announced to the public and to Bad Idea stores as, you are doing this. This is happening. Which meant that Patrick and I didn't even work Thursday, and we were greeted with people who were already calling Kent, who did not know what was going on, because this had just been emailed.
Why would he?
Yeah, this had just been emailed to Bad Idea stores like an hour earlier. Was getting phone calls from people making sure that Caligula's Safe was on their list. And it was great seeing how Kent had written it down, because Kent didn't know about this. So, like, basically someone was trying to describe this book, which has, like, a ridiculously and on purposely ridiculous long title, and Kent thought it was multiple books.
Sure.
Because so it's the thing of the two books that Kent wrote down, if I'm remembering them right, were Pete's Detective and Caligula safe.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's actually one book, and it's Pizza Detective, Caligula safe, and then there was one before it that he couldn't even make sense of. So here's the problem with this.
And then in parentheses, bad idea, April Fool's joke, question mark?
Question mark, yeah. So once again, this is a thing where Bad Idea announces this, and it's like, I can't communicate this to my staff because you're telling fans at the same time you're telling stores. And I hate that stuff. I remember when Kieran Gillen had announced his new project Die at Image. But it was announced through Hollywood Reporter. So I had subscribers who were calling me up saying they wanted to add Die to their list, and I had to go, do you mean Die, the Kirkman book that just came out? Because I don't, no, Kieran Gillen just announced this new book through Hollywood Reporter, and Image hasn't even emailed stores. This was the announcement. So I was already, behind the game and having to play catch-up with customers. So I'm right off the bat, I kind of resent that part of how Bad Idea does their promotional stuff, where I can't answer questions unless I'm constantly checking my email, and I can't communicate to my staff what they're supposed to do when these things come in, because I can't get to them fast enough to go, by the way, I was not at the store. You didn't even give me 24 hours to communicate to my staff what was going on. I had other stuff I was doing. Frankly, stuff that was more important than Bad Idea.
Yeah.
So, right off the bat, I resent that part. That part sucks. Is the inability to get this stuff to retailers before you get it to the public. For me, that's a no-go. That right there needs to stop. I don't care how much of a surprise Bad Idea wants to make this, but that part makes my job, and this is going to be a recurring theme as we describe this process, more difficult than it needs to be for only Bad Idea's benefit. So that sucks. That's one. The other problem is this is a $1 book, and there's a bunch of stipulations on it that we have to adhere to for a comic that we're making at most $1 on.
I mean, it's great that they're giving it to us and not charging us for it. So,
but at the same time,
it's not like we're making 50 cents.
But at the same time, I wish they were charging us for it and putting it at $3.99, because with the $3.99 book, I make $2. I'm making less than half as much on this book as I do a normal Bad Idea comic, and I've got to do way more work for that.
Sure.
And I got to do way more work for Bad Idea books in general, and now I got to do way more work than the average Bad Idea book on this. The stipulation, and Brandon from Variant Edition in Canada,
Brandon Schatz,
did a post on the beat that pretty coherently summed this up. So if this isn't making sense to you, go read his post. The main problem is the people have to come buy it or pay for their pre-order and have it shipped out on the day of release. The whole come to the store thing, fine. As always, I wish they weren't doing stuff that forces people to go to a store during a pandemic. I don't love that part of it at all. I don't like people feeling like they're going to miss out on something that they're excited about if they don't take an additional risk of going to a store while it is maybe May 12th, who knows, maybe not safe to do that. That feels irresponsible. And then the idea of stores being flooded with people who are desperate to get a book that is only on sale for 24 hours, again, feels unsafe and irresponsible. But the bigger problem for all the stores that are doing this is the whole pre-order, not even pre-order, the mail order element of it, where it's not like you can set it aside for someone at a later date they can pay for it. They have to pay for it that day. The amount of effort I have to go through to ring out a transaction for $1 and pack and ship a $1 comic book is in no way worth my time.
Yeah.
At all. Period. To the degree that basically I feel like we're going to have to say we're not doing any mail order for this book.
I'm fine with that.
It's just...
It's in-store only.
But it sucks because this is the thing where, we have subscribers, and that means that my two options are, one, telling subscribers, I'm not going to... You have to come in and get this book. I don't care where you live and I don't care what you're doing. Or I'm not going to fill this order. Which means that now they resent us. We're the ones putting the barrier up to them getting this book. Bad Idea sent it. Sure. We're the ones who won't sell it to them. We're the assholes now. Or two, I got to spend a Wednesday, which, as noted, incredibly busy, doing any number of $1 transactions and packing and shipping single comics. Like, I basically need to bring in a third person for Wednesdays for that Wednesday just to do this. Which means I've got to bring on extra staff to pack and ship $1 comic books.
And just having one person pack and ship $1 comic books all day loses us a bunch of money because they cost way more than that.
I might as well be giving this book away.
Yeah.
I might as well take the book that you sent me and throw it in the garbage because I'm not making anything on it. And this is the whole, like, in a nutshell, it's the problem with this bad idea is I wish this effort were going into something that was making me some actual goddamn money. Like, you want to do this for a $50 hardcover? I will do the extra work. Will I ever? This is like doing it for Free Comic Book Day. Like, we don't do this stuff. We don't ship out free comic books. Free Comic Book Days, you come and you pick it up. That's the most I'm going to do for you because it's free. Like, you got to do the work on this, people. But this is the opposite. This is me having to bend over backwards to facilitate getting a $1 comic book into Bad Idea fans' hands. Because this is, like, again, Bad Idea gets to promote themselves as doing all this fun stuff for fans, and now I have to either bust my ass doing the work for them, or I have to be the asshole telling people they can't have it. Those are my two choices that Bad Idea gave me. Those choices suck. Those choices mean I'm going to be upset through May 12th. Starting yesterday, through May 12th, I get to be upset about this. That's what I get out of Bad Idea's promotion.
I like that you think that by May 12th there won't have been something new.
No, this particular thing.
Okay.
There'll always be more stuff.
Sure.
But this particular promotion, the only thing it's giving me is aggravation for 6 weeks. I get 6 weeks worth of aggravation. That is my profit from this scheme of theirs. So, yeah, it's amazing to me that they've somehow topped how aggravated I was by the hero trade. This is arguably worse in that it's just only bad choices. Like, that should be the name of their company, Bad Choices, because that's what you're giving me.
Making.
Oh my God. Just...
For a company that is supposed to be enforcing the comics are for reading mentality,
Nope.
They're making everything an extra collectible.
And just, this is what we were complaining about with the hero trade thing, is just feeling like I'm being taken advantage of by Bad Idea, where they're getting something out of this, I'm getting nothing out of this. Like, the vague concept is, it's getting people into stores, and it's like, there's got to be a better way to do it than this, because this feels not good. And I would also argue that what we've seen so far of the first month of ENIAC stuff is the whole, like, it'll get people into your stores to buy they'll come for Bad Idea books and they'll buy other stuff. Patrick, do you feel like that's been true?
No, and I think a bigger problem is that obviously the numbers of ENIAC were split into two different printings, which we got in the same day. Now, we're entirely out. We reordered weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Haven't gotten them yet.
Yeah. So, I mean, what we've seen in the first month as far as people getting Bad Idea books, and the idea that, like, they'll come to your store to get the Bad Idea stuff, and then while they're there, they'll get all these other things. We have a bunch of subscribers that are just down for Bad Idea books, and they come in and they get them, and that's all they get. They don't buy anything else from us. They literally just buy Bad Idea books. We have people who come in to get things like ENIAC, and they don't buy anything else.
They most likely have a subscription at a store closer to them.
All the people I'm talking about probably have subscriptions other places, and they still want to give that store their money. They just come to us because we have the Bad Idea books. If they were available at their own store, they'd get them there. But they're not going to shift their purchases to us, no matter how good a store we are, because they have a loyalty to that other person. That's how people work with comic shops. We hear it from people all the time where they're like, oh, I'd love to shop here, but this, I've been with this guy for years and I don't know how. It's like you're married to someone. You don't know how to end that relationship. The only real benefit we have for Bad Idea stuff in general is people who shop at our store who we can go, hey, Matt Kent did this book. You should check it out. But we could do that with any book.
Yeah, but I mean, we did sell out of ENIAC #1.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, they don't. Bad Idea is selling Bad Idea books. That's great. Bad Idea is not selling extra books, which was part of what they were kind of promising. Like, I don't know if they were promising it explicitly, but the idea was...
It was an implication.
Yeah. You could definitely infer that when they're doing this, like, because you are a Bad Idea destination store, you know, no one's going to come by and just get Bad Idea books, and that's what they do. They come to get the one thing they can't get anywhere else, and then they get the other stuff other places. And again, like, we have people who signed up for our subscription service, but just for Bad Idea books. They didn't say Bad Idea books and Fear Case, or Bad Idea books and Joker, or Bad Idea books and X-Men. It's just Bad Idea books. The end.
Because it's harder to keep these things straight in the system, what we're doing, and this is mainly for subscribers now who are listening, if you are down for ENIAC, we're signing you up for every Bad Idea comic.
Yeah.
You can opt out of them, but we're just to make life easier so we don't miss anything on anybody. So for everybody that's like, oh, but I wanted tankers, like we didn't have tankers in the system at first because it's not that easy to do.
And to do a quick digression, like this is the main problem for doing subscription stuff for Bad Idea, is that Bad Idea, the books don't exist in our system until a week before release. So we can't pre-order Bad Idea books in the same way we do everything else. We can't just say, oh, you want to sign up for Batman, so we're going to put you down in the system for Batman, and then every Batman issue that's on order gets pulled for you. We had to sign everyone up for ENIAC 2 and Tankers 1 Wednesday, and they come out the following Wednesday. That's all we can do. So, you know, we can take notes and say, okay, this person wants all the Bad Idea stuff, and this person just wants ENIAC or whatever. But, like, we can't put anyone down for Whalesville yet. We can't put anyone down for whatever other future books are coming out.
Santa Claus.
Yeah. I mean, there's no input in our system for that until the week before release. So, yeah, like Patrick was saying, we have to just kind of assume everyone who wants ENIAC is going to want every Bad Idea book, which really, I mean, most people have. The majority of people who are down for ENIAC were also saying, I want to be down for any Bad Idea book. And that may change in the future.
Yeah, the vast majority, but we'll be able to take them off after the fact.
Because, I mean, worst case scenario, if someone says, oh, I didn't want Tankers, I will put it on the rack and sell it.
Yep.
Not worried about that. More worried about not having it for people who ended up wanting it.
It was actually harder than I expected it to be to find the cover image to Tankers #1 to use it for next week's new release, Matt.
Oh, yeah?
I had to dig for a while, and sure, it came in today's email, but that I was doing this on Wednesday, you know.
Yeah.
And a week before it comes out, we should have that. But then today's email was also, we're explicitly not going to tell you what's in the backup for Tankers #1.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other stores will promote the crap out of their books. You mean like you guys?
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to tell you what's like. Nobody is buying these books for the backup. The backup's fine, great that it's there.
Sure.
I'm sure people love them, but it's not a selling point to anybody. Maybe it will be. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
People liked reading ENIAC #1.
ENIAC #1 is real good.
As always,
it was a real good book.
I wish we could ever just concentrate on the content, but the promotion and the marketing is so much of what Bad Idea is doing, and it so often leaves just a bad taste in my mouth. Like, all of these decisions to hype up their books are just, I feel like they're so counterproductive. Like, Jesus Christ, I cannot tell you how mad I am about the idea of potentially having even to just ring up a $1 comic so someone doesn't miss out on it, and then having to mail it out because, like, if it's paid for but it's still in the store, like, what the hell does that even mean? Like, it's not worth it for me to ring up a $1 comic book. A single $1 transaction and process like $1 is barely even the limit, the
charge
minimum
limit.
Requirement of running a credit card.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding
Don't worry,
me with
Dal.
this?
They're all going to buy a bag and a board.
You kidding me with this? Jesus. It's, oh my God. Like, if Bad Idea could just say, it doesn't, like, if it's on hold for someone, that's fine, then that alleviates so many problems I have with this promotion. The idea of it has to be rung up and shipped out that day on a goddamn Wednesday. Like, we've got nothing better to do. I mean, does Bad Idea understand that Bad Idea stores don't literally just sell Bad Idea books? Is that clear to them? Was that an agreement that we made that we would only sell Bad Idea comic books? Because that's not the case. I got other books to sell. Frankly, books that I'm making more money on.
I think that they're going to provide each Bad Idea store with a security guard.
Great.
To immediately take all the books off the premises.
There's a store on Damon Avenue called, like, Stadium Goods or something, and it's like, I guess they sell, like, I don't know, goods from stadiums? Like,
seats?
Sports merchandise?
Yeah.
And they got a security guard. Like, basically, they're if you look inside, it is like a counter in the back, and then like a little wall for where their back room is, and the entire front is just empty, except for a security guard who's standing inside and just looking out the window all the time.
Wow.
It's kind of weird.
Wait,
like,
is he for sale?
I don't feel
Are
great.
Are you buying like security for your stadium?
I don't feel great walking past that storefront on Damon Avenue and having that security guard like eyeing me
Assess
up
you
or
as a
whatever.
threat.
Like I'm walking home from Chipotle. Like, don't do this.
You think that brings your threat level down because you don't want to split your Chipotle?
Maybe. Yeah, if they want to send in a security guard and or someone to just process a day's worth of $1 transactions and pack and ship $1 comic books, I will immediately stop complaining about this promotion. Immediately.
I don't know, because
Immediately.
the last time we did an event where a company provided a security guard, the security guard was way more of a distraction.
Yeah, probably.
And wanted to chat all day long.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't thrilling for me to be working that day.
No. Well, neither will May 12th, so that's fine.
Sure. I'm only going to let people buy it if they could give me the full title
Jesus.
with the correct pronunciation.
Here's the best part about all this. I can't imagine it. Like, this is probably going to be the third time in a row where we've been like, oh my god, Bad Idea's making us jump through all these stupid hoops, and we've got to do all these dumb things, and then nobody cares. Yeah. Like, remember when we got the preview book in?
Yes, yeah.
And it was like, oh my god, we're going to have to constantly be hounding people to not take more than one, because it's going for like $12 online, and then like by day 2, nobody cared.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. Like,
but I mean, there were enough people that made us think
sure
it was going to be that.
And I mean, the first day we had people coming in groups of like 2 and 3, and each person was getting one, and they had to get a bag and a board for it. And then it was the same thing with ENIAC 1, where it's like, god damn it, there's going to be a line out the door. How are we going to deal with people who want to come in and make sure they get their ENIAC first print versus people who just want to come in and get their subscription stuff? And then we get to the store, and there's literally one person waiting outside.
Okay, but here's the thing we learned this week, specifically from that one person, from Eric, that people showed up, but once they saw he was already in line, and they weren't going to get the special gold pin.
But that's the thing, that was just for the button.
Right, but I mean, they were still going to buy the book.
Right, but we didn't spend the day having to deal with, people desperate to make sure they got their comic. We had first prints for the first couple days.
Sure, but my point was those people could then go home and come back and buy it at their leisure.
But my point was, we've had instances before where there's a limited thing and we have people waiting outside.
Yeah.
And that was the fear with ENIAC, was that because people knew that stores were getting allocated half their orders, that there was already a limit, that only certain stores are going to have it, that we were going to see a lot of, first minute traffic. That people were going to be lined up outside. We've had midnight releases where it's like, oh my god, there's a line of like 50 people outside. And we thought that's what we were going to have with ENIAC, because it was going to be at 11 a.m. We didn't. As always, it was, this expectation of all these stupid hoops that we were going to have to jump through, and the most vocal fans getting in touch with us immediately, making us think there was this huge groundswell of interest. And instead it's like, it's selection bias. That's just like, of course, like, you're going to hear from the 2 or 3 people who are the most excited, but they don't represent more than the 2 or 3 people who are the most excited.
And the people that were the most excited signed up for the club, so they knew it was waiting for them.
So yeah, I mean, there's probably...
There were still a bunch of people, and by a bunch I mean a couple, who had filled out an online form from Bad Idea and assumed it meant they were getting it held from us. Mm-hmm. So we had to break it to them like, no, you're not.
You didn't do anything. You just told them you were interested. And, I mean, in theory, we were supposed to tell them, oh, hey, we heard you were interested. But by that point, it's like, we already don't have enough copies of this book.
And we didn't tell them that, so they should have assumed that they weren't getting anything. Or followed up somehow.
Well, I mean, remember the promotion for the Hero Trade where it was like, stores have this, go tell them you want it. And it's like, okay, not every store got it. And then on top of that, stores got one.
We still haven't gotten our replacement button for the person who waited in line.
Which apparently is going for some stupid amount of money online.
Oh, yeah. I'm just looking at the amount of, hey, can I get these this week? Emails that are coming in, because
I didn't even look.
My phone faces me during the recording, so I see the emails come in.
Oh, sure.
Just the usual suspects.
Oh, no, there's someone who ordered something.
I did see it. That came up with an order number. I didn't get a chance to read it. Was there an issue with an online order?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Someone saying they didn't get something, so I have to see, like, did this order get processed or did it not?
What does it have their name? We'll talk about this later. It's not for the podcast, of course.
No.
There was somebody who came in to pick up an order immediately after they placed it today.
Sure. That's cool.
I mean, that's always a little like, I don't notice it immediately.
Right.
Like, I'm not just on my email all day
Sure.
to get a notification. So who knows?
Yeah.
There was an example a few weeks ago where somebody ordered 2 copies of a Promethea trade and I didn't catch it.
Sure.
So they only got 1, but we sent them out the other one. It was all fine. But see, now you're reading it, and...
I'm still listening to you.
Okay, but we didn't have a clear direction of where we were going next. Oh, you know what? I had something, but then we got distracted by all this. And, I'll just jump in and say that as far as the sales battle between us and All-Star Comics goes, I presume we've already won?
Do you think?
No. In keeping in contact with Mitchell, I mean, this was just after the first day. It was pretty neck and neck. I mean,
sure.
Like, we were able to sell a bunch more copies today, but I imagine they're doing the same. This is also how it was for Little Bird,
Yeah, that's true.
It was very, very similar in that regard. But for the people who keep asking, like, did you win? Like, it's a month long. This contest goes until the day that issue 2 comes out.
Yeah, for sure.
So we have basically the entire month of April to do this.
Yeah.
And I believe it's allowable if each store sells out to reorder more, or we call it a draw. I don't know.
Sure.
There are some, loopholes where I think each store has a specific number of pre-orders for variant covers or whatever.
Sure.
So at that point, we might go to a runoff of variant cover sales or what have you.
So do you want me to give you the update on that order that someone couldn't find?
Sure.
They ordered for local pickup.
Yeah.
And they don't know why their order hasn't been shipped yet.
Oh, great.
So it's probably a thing that is in a box.
Uh-huh. Probably.
I hope so, because it's the Vision Complete Collection, which we don't have in stock right now. So they have to find it in the box and go, yeah, man, it's been sitting here since February.
Since February?
Yeah. But
holy cow.
It was the way they checked out, basically gave them a thing that said, like, your order's getting ready for shipment. So they would have needed an email to say, hey, your order's here, because they're not going to get an automated thing through Shopify because of how they checked out.
Sure.
So I don't know if they did or not, but I assume they didn't.
I mean, I don't do that.
I do.
I know you do. If it says send pickup notification,
this is why.
Yeah.
Because if people get a thing saying it's going to be shipped or it's not shipped yet, they have no idea that their order's ready for actually going into the store and getting it.
Yeah, it's a weird system, but there's shipping, local pickup, or how do they say local pickup for the second time?
Curbside pickup.
Curbside pickup.
Yeah. Basically, because of the way that Shopify has different payment options, some payment options you can choose local pickup, but some of them, for whatever reason, and Shopify's aware of this, they're just like, we'll give it to the programmers. But we said that to them like almost a year ago. If you choose certain payments, you cannot choose local pickup. So because we want to make local pickup available for everyone on every type of payment, we had to create a type of shipping option that was free that was called curbside pickup. But occasionally that leads to some people not realizing that they have chosen free local pickup rather than free shipping. So they think they're getting something shipped out and they're getting it shipped for free, and we have to remind them, no, it's sitting here at the store. You did not pay for shipping.
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling Tees has a thing where if you choose their local pickup option, you have to do 2 different confirmations.
I understand this is...
that you know that your order is not getting shipped out for free. You are coming to pick it up at the store. Because sometimes people see that free option. They're like, oh, yeah, I'll definitely take the free shipping option. That's not what you're picking. You're picking that you don't need it shipped, so you're not going to pay any money to have it shipped. So yeah, that's where that guy is. So you'll need to probably check and make sure that we have it on hold for him tomorrow, and then email him to go, yeah, man, it's just sitting here.
Yeah, it's just sitting here.
I wouldn't do that until we know for sure it's sitting there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Also, it's weird because his name is wrong in the system.
Oh.
It's missing a letter on Shopify. Like when he filled out his name, he didn't spell it right.
Okay.
So it was hard for me to dig up his order at first.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. You'll figure it out, though.
I mean, I'll try. I got confused today because one of the Shopify orders I was fulfilling somebody was buying it for somebody else. So the person who bought it had a different name, and then when the label came out of the printer, it was a whole different name. I'm like, what? What did I just do?
Oh, no.
Did it reset? How did I send it to the... No, that... What? Oh. Like, it doesn't say, hey, this is a gift, and they don't have to. It just said, billing address, shipping address. Fine. I do the same. I send gifts to people's houses.
That's nice of you.
With a certain thing.
You're a good person.
I don't know about that. I try. Try to be a good person, but I know I'm not always a good person.
Yeah.
And I'll kill anyone who says otherwise. I won't. That's not true. What was where did that come up today? Oh, so I was talking to someone today about Brubaker and Phillips, and how Ethan Reckless, by their own statement, is their first good character. Mm-hmm. And this guy countered with, well, the guy from Killer Be Killed was a good guy. Like, no, he's a mass murderer.
Oh, you read that wrong.
Yeah.
You read that book wrong.
Yeah, he killed a ton of people, and he's doing it just to save his own life.
Yeah.
But
they're bad people. I don't think you understand how murder works.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's super funny to me that somebody's like it's like saying, but what about the Punisher? Oh, no.
Yeah. Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, some of the people in Criminal are conflicted and make bad choices.
Sure. There's anti-heroes.
Yeah, but there's like, Ethan Reckless is, he's also killed people. So it's weird. But he's the only one who's doing things for the right reasons, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's what Ed Brubaker said. I'm not gonna defend it that hard.
For sure. Yeah, I'm sure if you wanted to argue loopholes in that very brief statement, I'm sure you could find them.
Yeah. But
what about Cyclops? Whatever.
It's such a weird point in the year because I actually sold 2 copies of Reckless #1 today.
That's great.
And I'm like, yeah, this series we do the next one comes out later in the year. It comes out in April. Oh, that's this month.
No.
It'll be out in April.
That's very soon.
Yeah. Yeah, real soon. Friend of the Devil. Signed somebody else up for that today.
That's great.
That's good stuff. You can't help but do it.
That week's going to be a big bill.
I meant to read The Good Asian in the last week, and it's still sitting on my desktop, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
It's Porn Shack Pishto, the guy who did Infidel, so I have high hopes for it. But
sure.
And so many PDFs have come in. I'm like, I want to read that, and then I just don't get around to it.
Yeah, like I've had the PDF for Geiger sitting in my folder for
I wind up just reading it Tuesday when it comes in the store.
Yeah, same here. Just like I don't know if I'm going to get to this before then.
I believe it's pronounced Giger.
Oh,
this is the superhero who designed all the alien costumes, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
He's a superhero.
H.R. Giger, the Melting Man, something like that. I don't like it when Image will release Geiger #1, Silvercoin #1, and like Nocterra #2 on the same day. Like your monthly schedule, spread it out. Yeah. I'm sure that there's less communication between each branch of Image. Skybound versus McFarlane versus.
I don't think Image Central really gets to schedule that stuff like they would maybe want.
Yeah, but I don't make me compete. Like don't make me have to decide who to sell a book to, like which book to sell between a Chip Zdarsky #1 and a Jeff Johns #1,
And I hope people who are getting Silvercoin understand Chip Zdarsky's only rating the first one.
Yeah,
it's a hard thing to get across to people because Silvercoin, people are used to the idea of like, oh, one writer is doing this series, but there's a bunch of different artists contributing. People are not used to the idea of it's one artist, but a different writer every issue. That's very hard to communicate. So I hope people are okay with like issue 2 being somebody else. Like they're good writers, a bunch of good writers.
Sure, almost all good writers.
Yeah, but it's an unusual format.
Yeah, but it'll be fine. I think if I like the first one, they'll stick around.
I hope so. It's thematically linked. So there is an overarching connection between the stories.
Sure.
Even though it'll be like different casts and maybe slightly different genres, but it is still trying to feel like a series.
I don't want to give too much away, but it's about a silver coin.
What?
Yeah, sorry. Just spread that stuff out. Make it a little easier.
Sure.
It's not fun to have to. People don't necessarily have the ability to buy that many new #1s at the same time.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
It's weird because it was a really busy and a heavy sales Wednesday for us, but I guess people just didn't have the extra $4 to buy Shadecraft #1.
Oh, that must be it.
I mean, I like that book. I like those creators together. I liked that book.
Okay.
I didn't love it,
Nope.
but I'm interested to see where it goes, and I'll keep going.
Okay.
I know you did not like it.
No.
And do you remember what you said about it specifically?
I mean, vaguely, I just found it really predictable and not too engaging.
Yeah, okay. The predictable part I thought that you would definitely get back to.
Yeah, it just, there wasn't much there for me. I mean, Lee Garbett in general is not my favorite artist. And I didn't think the story was anything special.
I think I first remember seeing him on like Backlash or something from Wildstorm.
Okay.
Yeah. Way back in the day. It's so weird to see pictures of creators now, and I'm like, that's not what you look like. You're old now. At the same time,
that means I'm old.
There was an article on 411. It's like, Honky Tonk Man sporting new look. I'm like, what does that mean? When you think of Honky Tonk Man, you think of Elvis.
Yeah.
Well, this is just an older dude who's like a nice tan, full head of long gray hair, and a full gray mustache and beard, but it's like white gray.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, you know what? That dude looks like a muscular Santa Claus relaxing at the beach.
That's great.
And you know what? I looked at it, I'm like, that's a good look.
Yeah, if we could all be muscular Santa Clauses relaxing at the beach. Yeah.
But I also thought, like, this isn't a story. B, it's not like he's changing his look for wrestling. He's just a guy who's getting older. This is what he looks like now.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a story.
How great would it be if, like, Honky Tonk Man's new wrestling persona was just like Jeff Hardy, but he still called himself like Honky Tonk Man. And everyone's just really confused at like this guy like covered in body paint and fishnet shirts. Like, what's going on? Where's the guitar? That would be fun.
It's a new month, and it's now time to thank our Patreon supporters, including our annual patrons, Becca Hilburn, Brent Helt, Dal's mom, Diane Bush, Jose Villagomez, Josh Crawley of Westfield Comics, Michael Romanenko, our patrons that have created their own tier, Andrew Drewtroit Comics Aaliyah, Christina McChrystal, Bridget K. Neville, Chris Burton, our other generous patrons from the Say My Name tier, Arun Singh, Social Media Vampire, Ben-Hur Benedict Calaguas, Chris Carr, Christopher Haith, Don Cardenas, Drew Triner, and Ashley Edwards, Challengers Reservist Fallon Mackerline, my brother George W. Brower, Heidi D., Jacob Sorelli of Kamikaze in Tel Aviv, from 11 O'Clock Comics, Jason Wood, Josh Trigg, Mark Hammond of All Yeah Comics, Margie, Keith, Logan, and Malcolm Springham, Marcus Nasso, Matt Armstrong, Mitchell Davies of All Star Comics in Melbourne, Australia, former challenger Molly Jane Kramer, Morgan Kaiju Perry, Nick Baldwin, Robert Burns, Ryan Alcock, Ryan Hecht, Sean Bowers, Tad Eggleston and Johnny Williams, Thomas Nagovin of Century Guild. And if you would like to hear your name thanked once a month on this very podcast, head over to patreon.com/challengers and pledge at the $5 Say My Name level. Thank you all very much, and a big thanks to all of our other patrons who generously support this podcast at different pledge tiers. Yeah, there's a new comic company out now called Power Comics. And
no, it's Power Company. That was the Kurt Busiek DC series.
No, it's called...
With Tom Grummett.
It's Power Records.
Oh.
Which actually they take inspiration from Power Records.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, like they like the name from that. And they like the W is lightning bolts. Not exactly how Power Records was, but it's an homage to it.
Okay.
But anyway, it is basically all the people you grew up reading, but doing comics again.
Like who?
Like Darryl Banks.
Okay.
Like, God, I can't remember. Like some of the people involved, like Mike Vosberg.
Oh wow.
Which I thought he'd passed away.
Oh no.
It's basically like just your late 80s, early 90s creators.
Uh-huh.
And when I say people you grew up with, I mean like people you grew up with. Like, I'm sure it would have been Greg LaRocque or Pat Broderick,
Sure.
you know, like
Or no Breyfogle.
yeah, exactly. And so some people were asking around, like, "Hey, do we know anything about them? They wanted to talk to us. Are they comics creators? They're not. They're just old school creators. And basically, it's a fan.
Uh-huh.
It's an old fan, an
Uh-huh.
older fan who just misses the comics of his youth. So he's building like.
I hope this doesn't get burned like a Guerrilla Comics thing.
Well, here's how it goes. He had an idea for a Brave and the Bold maxi series,
Okay.
but all of the villains were based off of famous painters.
Okay.
He had a pitch meeting, but then the DC restructuring went away, and he was told, don't even bother.
Right.
So he decided, actually, Art Balthazar convinced him to do it on his own, but make his own characters.
Okay.
So first he was going to just go to the public domain route and be like, oh, I'll use Daredevil, you know,
Sure.
the Boomerang Daredevil.
Right.
But then he's like, no, I'm just going to create... So he created his whole universe of archetypes.
Okay.
But like the one of the villains is called Panorama.
Okay.
And he's the Ansel Adams character. Like there's a Toulouse-Lautrec, there's a Dolly.
Okay.
And so the point was it would be Batman and a different hero teaming up every issue to fight one of these guys.
Sure.
So he's already done this whole Who's Who style handbook of all the villains.
Okay.
And so it's him creating this universe, and so he was talking to all these older creators that he loved, and it basically he read a Kickstarter to do action figures of all his villains.
Okay.
From Figures Inc., the people that do the Mego-esque figures.
Okay.
And then it became, oh man, I guess we're doing this book.
Yeah.
So it sounds neat. I don't know any, like, it's Kickstarter, we're not going to do that, obviously. But it's something to look forward to. And so where this came from and why I'm even talking about it was they were showing pictures of everybody involved. Mm-hmm. And like Paris Cullins.
Sure.
And that's where I'm like, oh man. So it was this guy with all these people at conventions or things, whatever. So he would show like a picture of them, a picture of their work, and a picture of him with them.
Sure.
But a lot of them were more recent. I'm like, oh, these people all got old.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Everyone does.
That's why I brought it up. But if anybody wants to look up Power Comics online, I'm sure they could do a much better job of understanding what it is than my short couple sentences.
What if they can't? What if it's actually worse? What if they're more confused by looking at that?
Then I'm good at what I do.
Yeah, really.
We said we don't do any Kickstarters. We did just kickstart a comic called Hunk, which is a 7-year-old creator's comic book about bullying. It's only like 8 pages or so.
Okay.
But it is Owen Clater, son of our good friend Ryan Clater. Ryan Clater, who designed our original business cards. Or I guess our first artist design business card.
Sure.
We had 2 different iterations of business cards first.
Yeah.
Ones that my brother made for us so we could have opening day. Mm-hmm. And ones we made. And then immediately said, we need someone else to do these.
Yeah.
These are ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Kickstarter thing we'll have soon, but only a handful of copies.
Yeah.
More for the novelty of it.
Sure.
I'm finished, Al. How about you?
I think I'm finished.
Okay. Rather than just do an abrupt ending part, I thought I would just
do an abrupt pre-ending
feed into it to see if there's anything we're overlooking.
I'm done talking.
Seeing as how our whiteboard is empty and how we have nothing to report on the Marvel Penguin front because nothing has changed.
It's been a week.
So there. Thanks for listening.
And keep reading comics.
This has been Contest of Challengers. Thanks for listening. Keep reading comics. Challengers is located at 1845 Northwestern Avenue in the Bucktown neighborhood of Chicago. 773-278-0155. Keep up to date with new releases and events at challengerscomics.com. Like Challengers Comics on Facebook, follow @Challengers on Twitter, and help fund this podcast at patreon.com/challengers.